Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us for the 2025 Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Weekly Video Conference presented by Wells Fargo. I'm Lynn Thompson. I happen to be the Strategic Advisor for the MEAC, and I'll be hosting today's session. As the conference begins, I would welcome each head coach with questions about the previous matchups and the upcoming games before opening the call to more specific questions from the media. For this week's session, media reps will be limited to one question per coach with additional opportunities provided as time permits. To ask a question, simply, you know the drill, use the raise hand feature, remain muted until you are introduced, and if you can please remember to remove your raised hand feature after your question has been asked. That will help us a lot. So with that, let's get started. And what a weekend it was across the MEAC. I mean, our top three teams were all in action, each trying to keep their title hopes alive in the race for the MEAC crown. And it all got started under the Knights on Friday night on ESPN2, where two of those contenders went head-to-head in Durham, North Carolina. And folks, it did not disappoint. A classic battle from start to finish. Meanwhile, our other title hopefuls stayed home taking on a longtime MEAC powerhouse. And when the dust settled, the stage now is officially set. The final week of this 5-week sprint to the MEAC championship is here. And this coming Saturday, our two top teams will settle it all on the field, head to head, as we crown our 2025 MEAC champions and punch a ticket to the Cricket Celebration Bowl. And honestly, that's how it's supposed to be. A championship that comes down to the wire, a league full of parity, and the excitement we've been talking about all season long, reaching a critical mass this coming Saturday. So with that, it's time to take our trip around the league and hear from the men leading these programs, our head coaches, as they break down last week's action and look ahead to the final games of the 2025 regular season. Let's kick things off in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where Howard University's head coach Larry Scott is standing by. Good morning to you, Coach Scott.
Good morning, Lynn. How we doing?
Doing good. I see you're repping the purple and gold this morning.
Yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't start out by saying Happy Founders Day to the men of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. So it is a special day.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Coach, you know, it's been a tough year for the Bison this Saturday. For a while, though, it truly looked like you had designed the perfect game plan to stop Del State in their ground attack. But 3 turnovers, only 48 yards on the ground, and 13 penalties for over 100 yards simply was too much to overcome in a 26-13 loss. Tell us about it from your point of view.
Just like that, you summed it up. I mean, it's hard to win with 13 penalties. I think maybe 17 was thrown on the other side. I mean, there's got to be some type of record, right, for penalties in a game. But we can't overcome those things. Can't turn the ball over, especially in the red zone, going in to capitalize on a great drive to open the second half. We take the ball all the way down and we turn it over for not only just a turnover, but for an interception and a touchdown. So in all, I thought there were times and spurts that we played well enough and was playing well enough, and then we had catastrophic things happen like that that we weren't able to overcome. So the penalties, the turnovers, in the end, did us all in, and we got the result we got.
Coach, well, now looking ahead to Senior Day this weekend against Norfolk State, the Bison have one opportunity left to end this 3-game skid and to close out the year with a win. From your point of view as the head coach, do you begin now to focus on sending a message about next year's team, or do you pay tribute to the seniors who've suited up and done so much for your program and your university?
Right, you finish the year. You finish it off for those guys. You finish the season off the way you want to finish it. It's not looking ahead. It's not doing any of those things. It's staying captured right here in the moment. The guys that are coming back is still about growing and improving and getting better. You got another, set of practices here to do that and improve and get better. And it's about these seniors, and it's about the guys that have been in this program, for a really long time, and paying tribute to them and their families and sending them out the right way, and finishing the season. So really, with the talk around here is just about finish. And how do we want to finish? Obviously, you want to win. And I think it's going to be critical for our program and critical for our young men to do that and handle business the right way and put an exclamation point on whatever the body of work has been up until this point. We can't control what has already happened. That's in the past. All we control is the moments and the time that's in front of us, and it's about improvement and about finishing. So that will be the focus this week for us.
Okay, Coach, thanks for that. Happy Founders Day to you. And with that, we're going to turn it over to Wayne Cartwright. Wayne, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Lynn, and good morning to you, Coach Scott. How are you today?
Wayne, doing good. How are you?
Doing well. So as you prepare to close out your 5th season at Howard, and also it was 18 penalties against Delaware State. As you prepare to close out your 5th season at Howard, can you provide some commentary about the additional things you've learned about the profession, your program, and yourself as you get ready for the season finale?
Oh man, there's never a final answer. This landscape is changing so much, so fast in college football. And I think what we all have to do really is take a look at where we are. You know, everybody at all of our universities are in different spaces and places, and have to go through different things to put the best product that you can out on the field. So our situation and circumstances are going to be different than South Carolina State's or Delaware State's or whatever. So it's about really taking tune to what it is that we have to do here at to put the very best product, on the field that we can, and keep the main thing the main thing. You know, in this new landscape, we cannot let things like the education and the importance of obtaining your degree and finishing school and doing things the right way in that area too as well. We have to, work on, things like the NIL and the way that it's moving in that play, whether you're going to be paid for play or, incentive-based program and those things. We have to move into the next stratus, the next evolution of what college football is becoming on every level. And like I always say, multiple things can be true at the same time, and a lot of things have to be put in order and have to be improved, and growth has to happen in all areas to see the improvement we want to see on the field. It also has to happen in a lot of areas around your program, whether that's facility improvements, whether that's design about how we're attacking academically and those things, name, image, and likeness, and all of those things. So there's a lot of work to be done for us in our program and how we do things. But I think as you learn and you grow through the years, so you start to understand that your off season takes on another whole life of itself too. Not only are you trying to improve, get bigger, stronger, and faster, but you have to build infrastructure. You have to go to work on what that looks like for you and your university and your program, as far as making those improvements too. Whether that's capital campaigns or, growing in other areas, but there's a lot of work to be done far before you get in between the white lines and call a play or, play a defense or do any of those things. So there's a lot of work to be done in a lot of areas. And I think that's what I've learned, through the evolution of this and going into year 5 of a true football season. And now going into year 6 is all the work that really still has to be done on the other side of just the X's and the O's that we must attack and have a plan for and get busy with right away, right in December.
I appreciate the answer, Coach, and I appreciate you as always. Good luck this week in your finale.
Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate it.
Right. Thank you for that, Coach. Your next question comes from Chris Stevens from HBCU Sports. Good morning to you, Chris.
Good morning, Lyndon. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Pretty good. You've won MEAC championships, and you've been to Celebration Bowl with this group of seniors that you're going to be saying goodbye to on Saturday. Has the sentimental level started to kick in with you yet, knowing that you're going to be walking with these guys with their parents on the field for that final time, and just being able to send them off into adulthood the right way?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it does. I mean, that's the whole thing, right? This is human connection. You don't do this just for football. You get to know these young men inside and out. You spend a lot of time with them. You hope that you've made an impact on the 4 or 5 years that they've been here and left something with them that they can take on into this ever-changing real world, that they can lean back on and fall back on. I tell them all the time, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on how you've been built. You fall back on your training and hopefully something that they've learned here. Over the course of the last 4 or 5 years will be something that they can lean in on later on in their lives as they build and start businesses or move on into whatever the next chapter holds for them. But I also want them to know that these are some doors they can always feel comfortable walking back into, knocking on the door, leaning back on, falling back on in any time of need in any area of their life, not just, in their careers, but personally and all those type of things. And you hope that you built the relationships and those type of things that will transcend time. And they can classically come back to, that's why I chose to play at Howard. That's why, I stayed at Howard. And that's why I feel comfortable being, with those men and with those coaches and with those people that have made such a huge impact on my life. So, yeah, because that's exactly what you hope that you built and that they feel comfortable doing. And so, yeah, absolutely, the sentimental value starts to kick in. You want to try to keep the business of getting ready to play a game so you can send them out the right way. But obviously, there's going to be, times and spurts, whether that's in a practice or passing in the hallway or on the way to practice, that you're going to stop and, share those type of moments with these young men as they get ready to transcend and move into a different chapter of their life. You want them to always feel comfortable and know that they have that in you.
Thanks for your time as always, Coach. This year has been a pleasure. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks for that, Chris. James Hill is up next for you, Coach. James.
Coach, I hope you and everyone in Washington are well, and happy Founders Day. How's it going?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm blessed. Talk a little bit about the opportunity to have an impact on a young man's life, or either also a young lady, everyone who's associated with the Howard football brand. And when you see them walk across the stage 3 or 4 weeks from now, or even when they come back and they've been a part of the football journey, if you will, that you've had an opportunity to impact their lives, and they get an education and they become successful human beings.
Absolutely. At the core of why we do what we do, that is it. That's what it revolves around. Is young people, male and female, because you bring up a great point. We have a lot of young women that work in our program too, that put a lot of sacrifice, a lot of time into doing a lot of things from a support role standpoint, and being a tremendous resource and a tremendous help and resource and everything in our program that we lean on daily to make the wheels turn. So as for them, we hope that we've left that same type of impact. And in the end, I think, especially when you start, getting a little bit older and seasoned in this game, you start to think about your legacy as a coach. And I think that's important to realize what that means. And so your daily impacts, your daily interactions with these young people is a part of not only making impact, but it's a part of legacy. So it's something that I think you have to take, very seriously. Obviously, we're blessed each and every day with the opportunity to be able to do that and be in favor with the man up above to be positioned to have impact on young people's lives. And it's something I think you have to take really, really serious, and we use a game. I told the team Sunday, we use a game. We use one of the greatest games ever created to teach these life skills and these life characteristics and all of these traits that we hope that you learn, that you don't have to be concerned with, am I going to be a winner? Hopefully these attributes teaches you to win. And so therefore you've already won. And when you transcend, you move into life, those characteristics will follow you. And if you do winning things and you have winning characteristics of what you do, winning championships and winning games and all those things will take care of itself in the end. But you first have to have a winning tried process of how you do things. So hopefully that's what we leave with them. Hopefully that's what they'll be able to carry with them. And hopefully those are the things that help move the needle for them later on in their lives as they continue to move on.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed week and good luck versus the Spartans.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Up next for you, Coach, is Dwayne Nash. Dwayne.
Thanks, Lynn, and good morning, Coach. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Dwayne. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, and happy Founders Day to you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So a few weeks ago, Chris Stevens compared your season to that of an old R&B act. You're always on the road. And I know technically this isn't a road game coming up for you on Saturday against Norfolk, but your matchup against Central a few weeks ago was the last time that you played in Green this year. Now, do you think you'll lose a competitive advantage moving your games across town over the Southwest? And what is your message to fans who believe that it doesn't feel like home when your guys are playing in Audi?
Those are all really good questions. All good questions. We only played in Green Stadium twice this year. We were a traveling road show. And that's challenging in itself, right? To play, never, really totally have a home field advantage or a home field feel or any of those things. That was tough. I'm not going to sit here and say that wasn't an easy thing to do. Obviously, you want to spin the rhetoric to your guys that, hey, the opportunity is the opportunity, and it truly is. Wherever they put the football down and you get a chance to compete and play, you're going to take advantage of the opportunity because that's what you have in front of you. And we only get 12 of these. You work 360 some odd or whatever the whole year to have 12 opportunities to play. So we're going to relish in every opportunity that we get. We're not going to make an excuse or we're not going to do any of those things. So And to have this final game, I think is two things, right? Obviously, you would love to finish up and play at home on your home turf where these guys practice and kind of do everything to make the true sentimental value what it should be. But we also, we live in a great city. We live in Washington, D.C. It's a chance for us to continue to have our brand on display down in Audi Field, and for the Washington, D.C. community to become more involved and come out and support and do all those things. So I think it's one of those deals where you're trying to get a lot of things done at the same time as you talk about the landscape of college football and being able to expand and grow. I think a lot of that work for us comes with too, making sure that we feel and the people of DC feel a part of what we're doing on the football field. And one of the ways to do that is you have to keep reaching out and leaning into them and spreading your brand into the communities and different things like that. So again, like I said, started the whole conversation with infrastructurally and community wise and growing the brand of football in this area and becoming one to be DC's football team in college football. We're gonna have to do it and move strategically like that to get some of those things done. So in the end, I just don't want it to make it seem unsentimental and not special for our seniors who are going to take that walk now. We do something on campus here called the Bison Walk, and you kind of miss that part of it. We'll do a rendition of that, down at Audi Field. However, to not have that walk across the yard here at Howard University on campus and walk into that stadium, obviously is going to lose a little bit, but hopefully they understand still how special they are. And really it's them kind of being the bridge. You talk about Founders Day, them being a bridge to moving this program into this next era of what it really truly takes to grow in this football landscape right now.
All right, thanks for that answer, Coach, and good luck this weekend. And hopefully, I look forward to seeing you during the basketball season on campus.
Absolutely, appreciate it, brother.
All right, thanks.
Okay, Coach, just a handful more questions. This one comes from Doc Holliday. Good morning to you, Doc.
Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Coach Scott. Doc Holliday, HBCU Overdrive. I was just going to ask you about the amount of penalties and the mistakes from this past weekend, as far as with the game with Delaware State, what you want to try to do to cut it down versus Norfolk in a final home game.
Yeah, all that we can. I mean, like I said before, I think we talked about this penalty situation is the ones that you control, right? The penalties that are, the pre-snap penalties and those type of things that are kind of self-induced. We really got to take a hard look at. And I don't know how many are really in the breakdown. I don't think there was many of those. I think we had some penalties that came as a result of things being a little chippy and a little competitive, and the refs doing the best that they can to try to control the game and keep some of that down a little bit, and warn people and make sure they're keeping the integrity of the game. So I think they got a little flag happy a little bit on both sides with that. But maybe that was a mechanism to control the game. What we have to do is go back and look at the ones that we do control, whether that's fundamental, whether that's a holding. I don't think we have maybe one of those. Some pre-snap, maybe a false start here or there. But those are the ones that are controllable, right? That are done through operational things, that are done and cleaned up through fundamental teaching and making sure we're teaching good technique and fundamentals. So I think it's the degree of the penalties and those type of things. And then when you look at the ones that may have been called for the chippiness and all that kind of stuff, is making sure you stay poised under pressure. And staying disciplined in your approach and understanding that there's certain things you can't do if you're the guy that's caught shoving second or doing things, as retaliation type of deal, that you're going to be the one that's going to get called and penalized for it in that situation. So, being in, actively in that situation to make a disciplined decision, it's definitely something that we visited about yesterday, and we'll continue to talk about, moving forward here with the discipline that comes with that as well.
All right, appreciate you, Coach. You have a good game this weekend.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question, Coach, comes from Perry Daniels. Perry, you're on.
Happy Founders Day, Coach.
I appreciate it, Perry. Thank you.
Coach, let's talk about legacy. You mentioned that, and being the head football coach at the institution where your organization was founded 114 years ago, today they're on campus in Thurkill Hall. Let's talk about what that means to you and how that impacts the way that you coach nowadays.
That's a really good question. You know, and when you really get into it, a lot of the foundational things that is of Omega Psi Phi identify with my upbringing. That's why I found myself wanting to be a part of the organization, in the true spirit of service, and those things. So to be at this campus, on this campus, part of the Alpha Omega chapter here in Washington D.C., kind of the mecca and the home of it all, on this campus is a very special thing. You can't replace that, and what you feel sometimes is the magic and the allure of that. Especially in the off season when we're running hills right down there by Third Kill Hall. In the wee hours of the morning, it brings you back. It gives you a special, a very special feeling. And like I said, a lot of the principles and things like that in which the fraternity was founded, a lot of come through a lot of my upbringing, and it's used a lot within some of our program foundation too. And really at the end of the day, because it's truly about manhood. It's truly about the approach and the process driven mindset that it takes to be who you want to be, and then the action steps that it takes to do those things. And it comes with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears a lot of times. So like I said, it's a lot of things that align with the way that we coach, the way that I coach, and the things that we do that align very much so with the fraternity, in which I'm fortunate and blessed to be a part of. And I'm fortunate and blessed to be a part of doing that on this campus with this program at Howard University with these young men. So it aligns for me perfectly into what my identity is as a coach, and what I'm hoping one day that my legacy aligns with this great institution, with this great university, and with this great organization. So it kind of all falls in line for me, and I don't go to come here a day of work and think, oh, I got to work a job. I'm actually being able to live out the creed of the fraternity. I'm living out the creed of what Howard was founded and built upon as a university, and my upbringing, the way that I was brought up and built and raised. So it all aligns for me each and every day. So you walking in your calling truly when I feel like when I come to work here every day.
Coach, and for those of us that live in Southwest, we love it when the Bisons come to Audi Field.
Amen. Well, we'll see you guys on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much, Perry. Coach, the next question comes from Darryl Duvall. Darryl.
Good morning, Coach. Happy Founders Day today.
Good morning, Darryl. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I just want to kind of go, Howard University is a historic university. And, you got a lot of people like to go to Howard, but, how do you we talk about performance and the roster growth. And there's so many things that's going around. You got the NIL, you got the transfer portal. How are you actually, the main thing is trying to grow these players, grow as opposed to just bringing them in. What is your thoughts on, actually having the opportunity to grow a player versus taking them out of the transfer portal? And it's all about trying to win and win. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, like I said, that's going to work different. That's going to work different for everybody. You can ask any head coach on this call, and I promise you, it's going to work a different way for him and what they're able to do with their university and missions and putting together, competitive packages and different things like that to offer young people. And then what window or what way you go about that is going to vary based on, a lot of different things. As for us, we have a way of doing things here that we're actually going to keep talking about and conversating about and trying to create as much of a competitive, situation as we can to attract more talent and to attract guys to come play football here. All while yet not, we're never going to do that by citing academics, right? And the opportunity that you get here to receive one of the very best educations this country has to offer. So multiple things could be true at the same time, and what that process looks like that for us is going to look different every time. I think it's going to be a case by case deal. I think we're going to have very good balance in our development of what we're doing as far as the high school kid and using. We can't quote unquote use the transfer portal here. We can't. We're not going to be able to get in a transfer that's a second year or a third year transfer. Our market is going to be more of the graduate route, a young man who's still fastened to his academics and wanting to come and be a part of Howard University through one of our grad programs is the avenue that we're going to have to go. So we'll have a young man that's serious about his education and serious about the opportunity that will be provided here to receive a free master's degree, which is a hell of an opportunity for anybody in America. So to all of you guys that are on there, if you got some guys that are some other places that are going to be graduating and looking for an opportunity to continue their education, and they're good enough football player, please don't hesitate to call me. That's my pitch for recruiting today. But that's the way we're going to have to do it. And then, other than that, it's going to be really tough for us to live in a transfer portal world of bringing in guys that are transfers. So we're going to have to do a great job, man, of development. And that's what I was referring to earlier. Our infrastructure and things that we do here, we're going to have to continue to develop and get better and do some things better, because our level of development is going to have to be accelerated, because we're going to be doing it with a heavy high school class of kids, a young team, a young high school developed team that we're going to have to take really high school football players. We want to be very much alive in the high school market of recruiting and bringing those guys in here, and hopefully this, them staying here and sticking, and we're getting a chance to develop them. Physically, mentally, spiritually, in all the ways that we have to do that, and then kind of extenuating around the grad transfer world or bringing guys in here. So our way is going to look a little different than most, and that's something that we're going to have to embrace here, put our arms around, and put a competitive product on the field each and every year, and we can do that, and we will do that.
Well, good luck this weekend, Coach. And if I have any players and grads, I keep you in mind, man. Send me away, man.
Yeah, please do.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daryl. Wrapping up the questions for you this morning, none other than Dr. J. Kenyatta Cavill, Doc. Unmute.
This is Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Thank you, Lynn, for the welcome as well as the update there, being on mute. Let me first say, Coach Scott, happy Founders Day. Generally, I would have some comments to go back, but this is public, and this is your day, along with all your brothers. So certainly, in all seriousness and collegiality, definitely happy Founders Day. You deserve to have a great smile on your face to celebrate this momentous occasion.
I really appreciate that, Doc. Thank you so much.
No doubt about it. I would also like to ask you, you're a championship coach. You've been in the championship race. You had an opportunity just this past weekend to face Delaware State. Obviously, with the game they had this weekend, was chasing the championship. You played South Carolina State earlier in terms of them ultimately being the championship game, de facto MEAC championship football game for that matter, winner takes all. Talk about either or most recently Delaware State. What do you see that puts them in a position to be chasing the championship for this season?
I think you're going to see one hell of a football game. I really do. I think you're going to see, two teams that are, well coached. You're going to see two teams that, kind of found their, true identity of who they are and how they play. You watch as a football coach, you go, okay, did it match up to what I've seen all week when I was watching tape? And neither one of those teams disappointed. Obviously, both of them, I thought, elevated a little bit in that respect as to what you saw on film, and it's kind of what you got. But I see a South Carolina State football team that's going to be well balanced on offense, defense, and the kicking game. Well coached. They're going to make plays. They're explosive playmakers on offense, and they're physical and running the ball and play really hard on defense. I think same thing with Delaware State. They have explosive guys that have the ability to, whether that's on the perimeter or on the ground or through the air, they have the ability to make the explosive play. And they play physical on defense, and they're running the football and do all those things. So I think we're going to all be tuned in and tuned up to a really good football game that's going to produce a champion that will come out of this conference that's going to be really, really competitive, down the road in the Celebration Bowl. So good luck to both of those guys. And obviously, they both deserve to be where they are. They've handled the business they needed to handle, on the field and those things. So at the end of the day, as coaches, you tip your hat to to both those men and wish them the best of luck. And obviously, may the best team win. But I think after playing them both and watching them both, you're going to get a really good football game.
Thank you, Coach, for that insight. Good luck in your game this weekend. And appreciate you sharing those insights, so we'll have a way to look at the game differently.
Really appreciate it. Thanks, sir.
All right. Enjoy your day.
Thanks for those questions, Coach. I want to say thank you all season long for coming in and sharing your insight from your perch as the head coach of the Bison. We wish you nothing but great recruiting on the season, a great off season, building this program up, and we'll catch you again soon. And I'm sure I'll see you many times in the next couple of weeks. So thanks so much, Coach. And
Right.
for those of you, Howard's they're gonna be at home this weekend. They're gonna host for Senior Day at Norfolk State, Saturday, November 22nd, Audi Field, DC at 3:30 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. Let's now go down to Durham, North Carolina. Have a chat with head football coach Trei Oliver of the North Carolina Central Eagles. Good morning to you, Coach.
Good morning, Lynn. How are you?
Doing fine, Coach, doing fine. I mean, Friday night in Durham had all the elements you look for in a championship contest. Great crowd, big defensive plays, surprise onside kick, an exciting comeback, a pick six, and more. And in a game where the Bulldogs had the ball almost 13 more minutes than the Eagles, it took a rushing TD by the Bulldogs with less than 2 minutes ago to really break open a 27-all tie to make the difference. What were the keys to this outcome in your view?
Well, I mean, I think that was the biggest thing was time of possession. They got off to a quick start and hit us with the onside kick. I thought the ball was touched before it went 10 yards, but they got that, and then they hit us with a deep shot right after that. So they got up on a 17-3, and our guys fought back. We got back into the game, and obviously, we make too many mistakes in a huge game like that to be able to come out on top. But we didn't do a good job executing on third down in the fourth quarter, and they possessed the ball, like you said, for 36 minutes. So I was proud of how our guys fought, and we fought to the end. But that was a really good football team, and obviously they had something to do with those mistakes that we were making. But proud of our guys' effort and how we played, but too many mistakes. We started the second half and we had momentum going into halftime, and we fumble a kickoff and give them. You can't get a team like that 2 extra possessions. That you can't do that. But that was a really good football team, well coached football team. Coach Berry and his staff has done a great job there. So tough one, and we'll learn from that one and try to get ready for another tough Morgan State team this week.
Coach, for the first time in so many years, the Eagles finished out of the top 2 slots in the MEAC race and now have to look forward to closing out the season on the road at Morgan. Do these new circumstances change your approach to the upcoming game Saturday for you and the Eagles in any way?
No, we still have an opportunity to play one more game. And, as disappointing as it is for us to have the season that we have, but, if we can get this last win and finish 8-4, there's a lot of people out here that would love to finish across the country with, with an 8-win season.
Yeah.
But, obviously it's not where we want to be, where we thought we would be. But, we lost to some good teams. And that's part of the game. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But I will never, ever be comfortable or accept losing. And we'll spend this offseason getting it right, and we'll be back on top of the conference.
Okay, Coach, let's open it up now for questions from the media. Guys, remember, use the raise hand feature after you are recognized and your question has been answered. Drop the raise hand feature. With that in mind, Dr. J. Kenyatta-Cavill, you're on first.
Thank you. Kenyatta-Cavill, Dr. Ville's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Good morning, Coach.
What's up, Doc? How you doing this morning?
Doing well. Big time atmosphere. Obviously, you're a part of it. Glad that I was able to get there and see it in person. Wouldn't miss it. It was a lot in terms of you could feel what was going to be played in that game, and it lived up to it. I wanted to ask you from this perspective, what did you see from South Carolina State that has them in a position to fight for a championship game this weekend?
They played well in all 3 phases, and they minimize mistakes. And we talking about here, Eagles can't beat Eagles, and we did some things that didn't give ourselves a chance. And once you can minimize mistakes, you give yourself opportunity. But and you got to capitalize on it. They had a blunder on third down and gave us. We got the ball down that third goal stop. We got them to fourth down, and we stopped them on fourth down. So you got to minimize mistakes. And that's what it's all about. Simple as that. And we made too many mistakes to be able to beat a good football team.
Great point, Coach. Look forward to the offseason and talking with you as you push forward for this last game. Take care.
Thanks for your coverage.
Thanks for that, Doc. Wayne Cartwright, you're on.
Hey, Coach Oliver. Can you share what you said to the team after the game Friday night? And then also what lasting impact would finishing this season with a win have for you and the program moving forward?
Well, I told the guys I appreciated and I applaud their effort. I thought our guys fought. And even when we had our backs against the wall, we were down 17-3 in the first quarter. Our guys fought. And that's what it's all about. And it's a learning experience. We got to play better. And like I told them, we lost to a good football team. Keep your heads up. And I still love you guys. But again, we haven't been here in a minute, but like 8 wins is still a good season. It's all, but we want to win championships without a doubt. But we lost a couple this year, unfortunately. But we'll work and we'll learn from it. We'll grow in this offseason and we'll work to get better.
Coach, I appreciate you all season. You're a class individual and a really great coach. So best of luck this Saturday in Morgan.
Yep, thank you.
Next coach is James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone on campus are well. How's it going this morning?
We hanging in there, James. Been a rough week, but we hanging in there.
I feel you. Talk a little bit about your Eagles as you get ready to go play Morgan, what you would like to happen in that game coming up, and what you see on tape from Morgan so far, and then the opportunity. Guys are about to graduate, your senior group.
Yeah, what I'd like to see us finish what we started. I would like to go out and play our best game of the year. That's always my challenge to my guys. And we have a lot to play for. The season's not over with. I'm excited to go coach one more time. And my players are gonna be excited to go up here and take on Morgan State. What have we seen from him? I saw this quarterback they have. This kid looked like Randall Cunningham, running all over the place and strong arm, and he's elusive. I think they have they got a blue collar team, and their running back is a gritty type downhill running back, and they're big and nasty up front. Defensively, still early on with that film, but they're athletic. I love their linebacker number 40. He's an outstanding player, and they got good length in the secondary. So Coach Wilson's a great coach, and he's gonna have them guys like he does every week ready to roll. And they've been in just about every game this year. So a lot of parity in the conference, and if you look at the scores, a lot of them are 1 possession, 2 possession games. So we have to play well this weekend.
Thank you, Coach. Always a pleasure. Good luck again this weekend.
Yep, thank you.
Up next, coach from HBCU Sports, Chris Stevens.
Thanks, Lynn. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm well, Chris. How you doing this morning?
Pretty good. You've been able to have a lot of success, with this senior class, and just being able to, have this one last ride with them, as you say. Has there been a level of sentimentalness that has kicked in for you yet, or has it just been, keeping a tunnel focus on trying to just finish the season strong?
Well, I appreciate my guys, and I think that's something I don't just wait till the end of the season or those guys to be graduating to show my appreciation and all that stuff. I love these dudes, and this senior class has won a whole lot of football games, And, I'm appreciative of them for what they've done for this university. Me being an alum, I'm very much appreciative of what they've done. As far as our culture here, they pushed that, they've embraced that. And, it's some really good guys in this program. For what they've done academically, both on and off the field, it's incredible to see these guys grow up. And they're going to be very successful in whatever, they decide to do after football's over with. But I'm appreciative of them. And I wish we could have got those seniors their last win on O'Kelly Riddick Field. But like I said, we got one more opportunity to play this weekend, and we really want to send those guys out the right way.
Thanks for your time as always this year, Coach. It's been a pleasure, and best of luck this weekend.
Yes, thank you.
Up next is Doc Holliday. Doc.
Doc Holliday, HBC Overdrive. How you doing, Coach Oliver?
I'm well, Doc. How are you?
I'm doing good. First, I want to ask you about your defensive coordinator. I know he was involved in a car accident a couple weeks ago. How is he doing? And then the second question is the goal line stance that you had in the game deep in the fourth quarter. Tell me how what was the things that you saw on that stance that pretty much led the team to make that stop on fourth down?
Yeah, Jesse Thompson, my defensive coordinator, he's okay. And for me and my players and coaches, my staff, it's about making sure they're taking care of themselves. So we'll be okay. I can handle the defense until he gets back, and he can take as much time as he needs to make sure that he recovers. But he's doing fine. I spoke to him this morning, And you know, I just want to make sure that he's taken care of. But defensively, the goal line stance, you know, it's not over till it's over. And you know, they haven't scored till they cross that line. So we got to keep fighting. And I knew Barry was going to try to run the football, and you know, I know Coach Barry. We've been around each other quite a bit, working together. So had an idea about what he was coming with. I knew Boot was coming. The quarterback was going to keep it. We didn't do a good job on the edge. Quarterback kept it, but we were able to get the ball down and live to see another day. Fourth and inches, we got to fight. That's what it's all about. We got to fight and strain. And I thought our guys, we were able to get some knockback up front and get some penetration and get the ball down. So that was a huge goal line stand for us. And, you know, it just gave us a chance to stay in the game. And that's all you can do is just fight to see another play. And I was very proud of those guys. A lot of people would have, you know, given up and laid down, letting the people score. But, you know, we continue to fight.
I appreciate you, Coach. You have a good one this weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach, the next question comes from Dwayne Nash.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm well, Dwayne. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, I know this year didn't end the way that you wanted to. And yes, there are a lot of programs out there that would love to have 8 wins. I know a school up the street that would like to have 8 wins right now. But however, this class is only the 4th group that has won at least 7 games in 4 consecutive seasons there in Durham. Being familiar with your championship or bust mentality that you have, will you ever be able to have an opportunity to take time to reflect on this class's place in program's history?
I'm sorry, you said, will I have time to reflect on what now?
On this class's place in your program's history.
Yeah, and you know, like I said earlier, I'm appreciative for these guys, and you know, we want to win championships, but then you know, it's about developing young men, and I think we do a great job here of developing young men and getting prepared for life. And like I said, this class has been successful, and they've had some huge wins, non-conference wins, been outstanding. Opportunity to win the Celebration Bowl. So we have a lot of memories here. And, you know, like I said, it didn't end like we wanted it to, but these guys, they're not going to hang their head, and we're not going to be apologetic for this season. You know, I'm pleased with my group. I'm proud of how we fought. We had, you know, a bunch of injuries, and we had some adversity we had to face. And you know, this weekend, there was a whole lot of adversity going on this weekend. Folks don't even understand, but I'm proud of these guys, and they fought and gave me and this university all they had.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Good luck this week up in Baltimore.
Yep, thanks.
Coach, just a few more coming from Daryl Duvall. Daryl.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing today? You know, I need to ask that still, man.
I'm well, Daryl. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a nice day. You know, I just want to kind of reflect on. You had a pretty good season. You know, you won about 8 games, and you talk about your performance and how does this performance basically kind of reveal about your roster growth on what you're trying to do in the future? Because I mean, you did a pretty good job this year.
Yeah, we gotta do a better job of everything. We gotta improve. I gotta do a better job of getting these guys in position to make plays. We gotta obviously, you know, always bring in more talent and recruit. But you know, coaching is not hard, and sometimes we make it harder than what it is. You know, a game like Saturday, you know, you have a game plan and you think you can attack folks, but I think offensively we should have looked at more players, obviously, than plays. You know, schematically we thought things were there that we could take advantage of, but at the end of the day, you got to get your playmakers the ball. And I didn't think that Chauncey Spikes probably should have touched the ball more in that 4th quarter, and we should have probably tried to go to some other folks, but. I gotta improve this offseason and give these guys more. I think that's gonna be huge for me. I gotta get these guys rolling.
Coach, good luck this weekend, and offseason, good luck. By having the players, I'll send them your way.
Thank you.
Okay, Coach, your next question comes from Ty Miller. Good morning to you, Ty.
Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Ty.
In a word, and without using disappointment, what would you sum up this season as and describe that?
Oh, in a word. I don't know. And you tell me what words I can't use. It's like Scrabble and you take half the letters out the thing, man. I don't know, man. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay.
Tough. It was a tough season.
Okay. I'll take that. Thank you.
All right, Coach, your final question comes from Brandon King. Brandon. I don't know if Brandon's there. I'm gonna give you 2 more seconds, Brandon. 3, 2, and he's not there. So, Coach, that wraps it up for the questions. Coach, I want to thank you for the whole season for making the time available to come and share with us and members of the media, giving us your perspective from the perch high atop of the Eagles program. So we wish you nothing but the best this weekend. Great recruiting season, and I'm quite sure I'll see you a whole lot of times during the rest of the year. So thanks so much. Okay, Coach?
Yep. Thank you, Lynn.
All right. The Eagles will be on the road at Morgan State Saturday, this coming Saturday in Baltimore at Hughes Stadium, 12 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. Let's go on over to Dover, Delaware. Our next interview is with Delaware State's head coach, DeSean Jackson. Good morning to you, Coach Jackson.
Good morning, Lynn. How you doing?
Doing good, Coach. Man, that was a lot on the line this past Saturday when Howard came calling. I mean, a team that seemingly had the Hornets' number in recent years, but your defense came up with 3 turnovers, including a pick 6, and the offense regained its momentum. This could have been a trap game, so to speak. But tell us about it from your point of view.
I mean, we talked about it. Excuse my voice too. I lost my voice on Saturday, out there yelling and stuff. But we talked about this. Every game, from here on out is going to be a trap game, and we can't never fall into those traps. We always say, each and every team we play, we're going to get their best shot. We was top of the conference, and Howard was coming in. Obviously, he's been a powerhouse. They've won championships as well too. Larry Scott's done a great job with them, but we just we allowed them to give us a tough fight, and they did a good job. Obviously, it was good to get out of there with a win, though.
Yeah, Coach. Now you're set to host the championship game this Saturday at home against South Carolina State in a winner-take-all and gets the crown and celebration bowl scenario. How does the Hornet Nation feel about it? But more importantly, what does your team feel about it, and what will it take to get it done?
I mean, we feel great about it. We set ourselves up in great position to be where we're at. I feel like it's definitely deserving the work we've put in and what we've been able to go out there and accomplish in a short span of time. Huge opportunity. We all know what's riding on this game, and this one's for all the marbles. So we'll be prepared. We'll be ready to go. It's going to be a tough battle, like they all are, right? But we'll be prepared and we'll be ready to go, man. We're up for it for sure.
Okay, Coach, I hope your voice holds up for these next line of questions. And they start now with the first one coming from your friend, Doc Holliday. Doc.
Doc Holliday, HBC Overdrive. How you doing, Coach Jackson?
Man, I'm blessed. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I know a lot of people are going to talk about the comments that you made on the podcast, but we're not going to get into that right there. I want to talk about the amount of penalties in the game from Saturday against Howard, 18 penalties. What do you try to do to, try to minimize those, especially for this game, which is actually, for the MEAC championship against South Carolina State, and to stay disciplined?
I mean, we just got to go out and play our style of football, man. Be physical, be violent, and do whatever we can do to win a football game. At this point, can't get caught up in the calls. It is what it is, right? We know what we need to do for us to win a football game, and it's never going to be what we feel like it's going to be, right? It's going to always be something opposite. So we got to go out there and do what we need to do, and hopefully that's good enough.
All right, appreciate you, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Doc. Wayne Cartwright's got the next question for you, Coach.
Hey, Coach Jackson. Good to talk to you again, sir.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Wayne?
Oh, I'm good, man. So you guys have won games all year with this all hands on deck, whatever it takes approach. So now that you're heading into this final game of the regular season, I want to make sure I say that, of the regular season. What are you guys as a staff doing to help your team manage the emotions of the moment at hand?
I mean, this team is a very confident team. We talk about it all year, what we wanted to do, and we wanted to be special, we wanted to be different. You know, we feel like it's a new era. This culture has definitely changed, and you know, my players, man, they take every responsibility of being legendary, and you know that was something I preached before the game. You know, go be legendary, right? We get another opportunity to go be legendary at our home, right? It's senior night. We're gonna send our seniors off the right way. We know about this South Carolina team. Obviously, they've been the big dogs. You know, they beat us up pretty good last year as well too. So, you know, I think all these young men on this team, you know, they have a short-term memory, but they don't forget as well too. And you know, it's a lot riding on it. And I know we put ourselves in a great position to be where we're at. So I can promise you this: they'll be well prepared and they'll be ready to go, and we're gonna compete at a high level.
Hey, appreciate you as always, Coach Jackson, and good luck in this championship game.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne. James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody on campus are well. How's it going this morning?
I'm good, James. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Sir. Now, everybody wants to be the king of the hill. They want to win Super Bowls, MEAC, Celebration Bowls. They want to get there, but it's all about the journey. Can you talk a little bit about what molds the young men and just the process, as it were, as you build this team up and you guys are on the brink of doing something special? But just talk about the process guys have to put in the work.
Yeah, the process, man. You gotta fall in love with the grind. You can't get bored with the grind. You know, it's a point in a saying that I always say, man. You know, to be elite and to be legendary and special, man, you got to do things that you're not comfortable with doing. And you know, I think my team, my group of men, we fell in love with the grind. We fell in love with the struggle. We fell in love with being uncomfortable. Because if we feel like you put us in any predicament, any situation, we'll come out on top and come out swinging. That just shows the contest to these young men and their mentality and their mindset every game, every opportunity we get. So, you know, as a head coach, man, it's a great feeling to see your guys work as hard as they work and for them to have the success on game days, man. So it's transitioning. They're believing, they bought in. And like I said, they love the grind.
Thank you, Coach. Have another blessed week, and we look forward to covering you in the future and seeing this whole thing play out. Have a blessed week.
Yes, sir. Thank you, James.
Okay, on to Perry Daniels with the next question.
Congratulations, Coach Jackson.
Thank you, Perry. Appreciate you, man.
Coach, by all measures, win or lose this Saturday, you have done a phenomenal job at coaching this football team. Inevitably, what happens is your name becomes mentioned as candidates for possible coaching, head coaching jobs for bigger institutions. Can you talk about your aspirations as a head football coach?
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, man, you know, I'm very focused where I'm present at, where my feet is, and you know that's my message to my team as well. Be always present, be feet on land, and you know we can't really get too caught up in the, you know, what people are saying or you know what's the chaos of the noise. As far as aspirations, obviously, I would love to, you know, take it bigger if I could. You know, I think that's everybody's dream and everybody's envision as well too. But I'm definitely appreciative of this opportunity where I'm at. HBCU is, you know, gonna always hold a special place in my heart. You know, if my destiny and my road is somewhere, who knows? Hey man, we'll get to that when that time's being. But right now, man, like I said, I'm just excited about where we're at, what we've accomplished very fast. You know, when I was hired, the first portal was closed, obviously, so we wasn't even really able to get a good group of guys from that first portal. We had to wait into the second portal, and we had to, you know, build up the men that was already here. So I think it just contests to, you know, all our coaching efforts, our challenges we're faced with. You know, the resources, they are what they are. You can't complain about them. You just got to find ways to, you know, build it up and do the best you can with the circumstances. And you know, I credit a lot of people that support me as well too. I got a lot of relationships over my career. And, you know, I got some big time people that kind of was backing me and helped me through this process. So just want to tip my hats off to them without calling names. But, you know, the support is real and I'm always appreciative to be in this position.
Well, thank you, Coach, for sharing your talents with the HBCU world, and good luck to you this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Perry.
Thanks, Perry. Next question comes from Darren Zaslow. Darren, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, Coach. I was just wondering how you guys have been able to prove the doubters wrong, from being picked to finish last in the MEAC preseason poll to now playing for the MEAC championship. How have you and your team been able to prove really the whole country incorrectly?
I mean, I know it sounds cliche, man. It's simple with me. I got the same answers, man. It starts with our mindset and our mentality and how resilient we are. The first meeting I had with my players back in January, it goes back to, the principles and the intangibles. I feel like when I did my evaluation of this team, let's not forget Delaware State was in 6 games and they lost them. They was up in those 6 games. They was up in the fourth quarter and lost those games in the fourth quarter last year. So just to be honest, in my evaluation, I had enough to deal with. It was a lot of talent here, and I just felt they needed upbringing, they needed love. They needed moral support, and they needed to be challenged. They needed to be almost like you got a kid, you just gotta uplift them. They needed that love, and we was able to pour into the glass how they need to be poured into, and you just see a group of young men that's bought in because they understand that what we're telling them is not for our benefit. It's not, for, some hypothetical thing. It's we all, have the success. My coaching staff, a lot of us had success. And we know what it takes to get to where these young men want to get to. And, all it contests to is you seeing these young men that believe and trust in us, and they're willing to run through a brick wall for us.
Coach, thanks for your time and good luck to you this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Darren. Next question from Dr. J. Kenyatta Cavill, Coach.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. How you doing, Coach Jackson?
Hey, dog, I'm hanging in there, brother.
Yeah, I see it. I see it in multiple ways. Keep pushing forward, keep fighting. But I want to ask you about this particular game from your experience, your life experiences, about having opportunities, about championship runs.
Yeah.
How are you going to use that? And are you going to use that in terms of this game, preparing your team? Or do you go back to that traditional framework that you hear, that it's just the next game, you're going to prepare for it with the goal to win it? What does that look like for you as the head coach?
It looks simple. You got to respect this. You got to respect this game. I tell my players that all the time. If you don't respect this game, the game ain't gonna respect you, right? If you're not pouring into the game, if you're not doing the things you need to do to play this game the right way, the game gonna hit you in the face. And that goes to life as well too. If you're being a thief, if you're not being honest, if you're not being loyal, and you think great things are gonna happen to your daily life, you fool, right? And it just contests to my father, my mentors, my OGs growing up, coming from the block of Los Angeles. I had real ones around me, man, that poured into me. When I wanted to veer off and go to the left, man, they was like, "Nah, young man, you got talent. You got a bright future." And it's the same position I'm in now. A lot of these young men, they have talents, they have futures. Our youth is our future. And for me, I just want to uplift them and challenge them in the right way, because at any given time, we all been there. We all could go do some bonehead things in a snap of a finger. And what is that going to do? My OGs always told me, end up dead or in jail, so life and football is the characteristics are so much similar. And, I just preach that to my players, man, do the things you need to do, which is going to class, doing, putting the right things in your body, right? Putting the extra work in, right? Becoming a family, right? Leaning on your brother. And, if you guys do that and you guys work together and you build that camaraderie, I mean, it's a special sight. And you guys, that's what you guys are seeing.
Thank you for letting us inside for a moment and sharing that with you. Very authentic in terms of getting to understand your framework of how you go about the business. So I appreciate that. And good luck this weekend. Look forward to the matchup. Should be fantastic.
Sir. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. Yes, sir.
Darren Duvall, you're on.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
I'm good, brother.
Hey, first of all, I want to say congratulations on your season. You did a good job first time coaching. From where they were last year and where you are, I mean, you've made Delaware State. I mean, hey, I can't say no more, because people probably coming to the games. I mean, they're talking, and we go back to, the rhetoric of last weekend on the podcast. And how did you deal with that this week in preparing for the game this past weekend, getting up to that game?
Well, we said a podcast. What do you mean?
I mean, the rhetoric of basically the ESPN. I mean, what everything was saying from that game, from the last game last weekend.
Yeah.
Not this past weekend.
Yeah. And my viewings of things, man, like, I played a lot of football, right? I played at a high level, had a lot of success. So anytime I speak, it's never to disrespect the game. I respect the game of football. I respect, the position it's put me in. My career has took me a long journey. I just speak off of my experience and what I've known, what I've been through. Obviously, this is my first year coaching, but it doesn't take away from, the years I had of success playing. I transitioned over from playing to coaching, and a lot of principles I have are installed in the same way. So when I view things, I just go off of opinion. As a man, you have a right to your opinion. It's never to call anybody out, never to talk about anybody else, give my view on my opinion on things. But coming into this game, obviously, we knew the obstacles. We knew it was going to be another roadblock, a brick in the roadblock, and we just got to get our own way. We can't beat the other team and ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So as long as we understand that and we get out our own way, the sky's the limits for this team.
Well, hey, man, I just want to say good luck this weekend. I will be looking at that game, even though I'd be in another city, but I will be doing it on video. And I can't wait to see you. But again, you've had a good season, and you should
Thank
be,
you.
pat yourself on the back because you did a good job this first season.
The work ain't done. Appreciate it, Daryl.
You welcome.
Yes, sir.
Andy Walter, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hey, Andy, I'm good. How you doing?
All right. Hey, you obviously played in a lot of big games yourself as a player. Anything from those experiences you'll share with your guys about, getting ready and being their best in a big stage like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think the guys understand it at this point. It's every week, it's like you repeating it. It's getting repetitive, week in and week out. We just have to take care of our responsibility. We have to get on our own way. And it's just another opportunity to go out there and do something special that, I think all these young men are up for the challenge. It'll be a great one. We're playing a great team. Like I said, won this conference last year. They do nothing but great things over there. So it's never about anybody else. It's always about ourselves. We'll respect the game. We'll respect our opponent. But as long as we take care of our responsibility, I think we'll have our way and we'll do what we need to do.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Andy. Chris Stevens from HBCU Sports, Coach.
Thanks, Lynn. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Hey, Chris, what's going on, man?
Can't call it. Obviously, this defense has gotten a lot better in recent weeks, and they're probably going to need to be at their best this week because this South Carolina State has a lot of different ways and different athletes that can hit you and hit you where it hurts. Just what's going to be the challenge you feel like for your defense this week going into this game?
And our defense is playing hats out. They're playing championship football. For us, we're going to continue to go out there, fly around. Our defense is going to make plays. We're going to rely on our defense. They're going to come up big because I know that's what they do. And we'll throw challenges at South Carolina State. That's what we have to do for us to win this football game. At the end of the day, we'll detail our workup, we'll prepare, and we'll be ready for them boys to go fly around and do what we need to do for us to win a football game. It's just simple as that.
Sounds good. Thanks for your time as always, Coach. Best of luck this weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Chris. Dwayne Nash, you're on.
Thanks, Glenn. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm good. What's going on?
Man, I'm good. Regardless of what happens this weekend, your team was still in the season with at least 8 wins, something this program hasn't done in almost 2 decades. However, you kept reminding us early, dating back to the beginning of the season, that you want to remind us that a lot of people have predicted this team to finish at the bottom of the conference. Now, did you and your program envision way back then that you would be on the verge of winning or competing for a title this quickly?
I mean, all I can say is go back to the interviews, man. Go back to anything you can pick up from back then, even at MEAC conference day. I mean, my message and what I deliver has been always the same. I've been very confident in anything I do in life because that's how I've been able to be successful and take me this far in life. So yeah, we definitely we had that mindset, we had that mentality, and we're definitely confident in what we do.
Thanks so much, Coach. Good luck this week at home.
Yes, sir.
Coach, your final question of the morning. Well, we got 2 more, actually. Luke Williams is first. Luke, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Coach. Luke Williams from the Black College Sports page. Coach, you've talked about a lot of things that went into your being able to engineer this turnaround. You talked about the OGs. You talked about the people, big people behind you that support you.
Yeah.
You talked about the transfer portal being closed, what all of us are trying to figure out is what's the magic elixir that has produced one of the 11 teams to be in the on the verge of getting a championship. So you haven't talked about your coaching staff, but what I'm really getting at is a plan that you may have had going in. How much before you became coach had you actually prepared to be a coach and had like a plan, like in your hand, say, well, if I get this opportunity, this is what I'm going to do?
I always give respect to my coaches and credit to my coaching staff. I think they do a great job. I think that's separate. That's what separates Coach Jack, is because I implemented and put great people around me that's had a lot of success at this level. Obviously at college level or in the NFLs. Either they played in college at a high level or coached, vice versa, played in the NFL or coached in the NFL at a high level. So my coaching staff definitely gets the credit. And it just really contests to the obstacles we put in front of ourselves. As far as this plan that I put together, no, I didn't, because I didn't know I was going to be coaching in college football. I was happily coaching in high school, and I was doing a great job at it. And to ever say I could have predicted me to be here where I'm at right now, I could have never predicted this. So it's just God's work. At the end of the day, I mean, that's just me, who I am, how I grew up, how I was raised, the men around me, and just my career as well too. I was an underdog. People didn't believe in me, and I had to go into the NFL at 5'9", 165, soaking wet. And, I had a hell of a career doing it. One of the best deep threats to ever play this game. So, I think my success on the field is obviously transition to be a coach as well, too, just because the intangibles and the principles I was raised with. So, I mean, that's really sums it up.
Great job, Coach. Good luck on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Another question comes from Kevin Tressolini, Coach.
Hey, DeSean, the last couple of weeks, opposing defenses have done a nice job, kind of quieting your running game, that's been so good all year. How important is it for you guys to be able to be balanced on Saturday and, just kind of look for explosive plays?
And that's crazy. You said quiet, man. My running back has 16 carries for 94 yards. We still rushed over 200 yards. It's just y'all saying that because y'all used to seeing us run for 300-400 yards per game. I get it. At the end of the day, that's a success to have a rusher go for 90 yards, man. That's a success. I mean, hey, like I said before, whatever we need to do to win a football game, that's what we'll do. Jaden Sherrick stepped in. He threw for over 140 yards, and that's been some good production that we needed to add to our our offense as well too. Now I just feel like a defense can't just come up and stack the box on us because of that. Caden Bennett will still play, but Jaden Sherrick will be out there. And it's just a lot of different obstacles we have to throw at them to not let them just think we're going to come up and run the ball. We're going to be very balanced, and we're going to do what we need to do to win this football game.
Much appreciated, Coach. Thank you. Good luck Saturday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, I want to thank you for spending this Monday with us every week throughout the course of the season. And this Saturday, it's all or nothing at all. I mean, the Hornets and the Bulldogs are going to go at it for the MEAC championship. We wish you nothing but the best, and everybody on this call is going to be watching. And Coach, we wish you, like I said, and the Hornets, the very best. So thanks for your time all season long, and we'll see you on ESPN Plus this coming Saturday. As a reminder to everybody, Delaware State will host South Carolina State in the MEAC championship game Saturday, November 22nd, Alumni Stadium, Dover, Delaware, 1 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. Let's head on over to Norfolk, Virginia now. Our next interview is with Norfolk State head coach Michael Vick. Good morning to you, Coach Vick.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing good, Coach. Doing good. This past Saturday, man, the Spartans rushed for 296 yards, and we saw a solid performance from Vincent Berry at quarterback. But in the end, Morgan State scored 13 points in the fourth to sneak out of Norfolk with a 35-28 win. Walk us through this one, and what were your takeaways from this hard-fought game?
Yeah, I thought we came out. We started a bit slow, came out and threw an interception early, and was able to overcome that. I think as we scored, they would bounce back with a score. We had momentum in the game. Big play we gave up on special teams, another block kick, and then the play before the end of the first half, kind of. set us back a little bit. It definitely took me off in terms of, the conversations I had to have with our team in the locker room at halftime. Just kind of got tired of seeing the same thing. And so I felt like that was a big momentum shifter. Other than that, we would have went in with the lead at 20-14. And so, the guys got careless out there. And, just because we have one bad play don't mean you go moping off the field. You still got to stay in it. And I felt like from there, we was just, playing catch up. We kind of got in our mode and just started pressing a little bit and then just couldn't finish the game.
Coach, when you look back across the season, 7 out of the Spartans' losses came by a touchdown or less. I mean, learning how to win, this comes from experiencing that. In building your culture, how important is it now to go out and get this win this week for momentum and recruiting as you travel to face Howard, who seems to have lost, 3 straight?
Yeah, it's important to finish the season off on a good note. I think it's extremely important, for us as coaches and, for the players, especially the seniors, but the ones who are, wanting to be, looked at in this program as, potentially, players who can come in and make an impact. Obviously for us, it's about, looking towards the 26 season. How can we get better? How can we clean up the things that we didn't do so well? How can we finish games and, those games that was decided by a touchdown or less? How do we, flip that in terms of being on the winning side? And so, it was a lot of invaluable information I gathered this year. A lot of things that I seen, from players and coaches that, maybe need to be looked into, to some degree and in a lot of detail, but a lot of positives that I see. And so, I'm very grateful for this season, grateful for the opportunity. Every Saturday or Thursday, I woke up with excitement and, just even more excitement moving forward. I hate to be talking about the 2026 season because, it's a lot, this game means a lot to us. And, obviously the MEAC conference has been represented well by so many great teams. And so I don't want to take away from that. But, for us right now in Norfolk State, we got to start thinking about, how do we turn this around?
Okay, and it starts this coming Saturday, Coach. So with that in mind, let's go to some questions now from the media. James Hill is up first. James.
Hey, Coach Vick, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing? What's up, James?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm blessed. Hey, talk a little bit about the evolution of the black quarterback. You've been very successful. When we look at HBCU quarterbacks, everybody wants to get to the league. Yesterday, we had an opportunity to see Shedeur play a little bit, and maybe he didn't have the preparation piece going into the game, but just talk a little bit about Shedeur and black quarterbacks and that whole conversation at this point.
Yeah, I talked to Shedeur about, 2 weeks ago. And, we talked about, the moment that he had yesterday, him getting healthy and playing against the Ravens, what that would be like. Obviously we knew it was going to be a good experience for him in terms of going out there and getting some real live reps against a good defense, the structure. He's had, the entire season to sit back and watch all the quarterbacks in front of him, whether they passed or failed. And so I felt like that was a good opportunity for him in terms of quarterbacks and, what you see from our conference to the NFL to, conferences all over in college. We continue to, try to find that dual threat quarterback. That quarterback that's going to, take total control and do more than one thing in terms of, how the offense operate. That's passing and running, moving the chains and playing with a lot of heart. So, not to say that other guys don't play with that, but, in order to be a mobile quarterback, black quarterback, mobile quarterback, you gotta use your legs and your arm. You get it done by any means necessary. So taking pride in that, you see guys doing that. You see guys all over, being dual threats, and that's significant to the game of football and the progression.
All right, Coach Vick, thank you so much for everything you've done this season for NSU football, and we look forward to covering you in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, Coach Vick. Chris Stevens is up next with a question for you. Chris?
Thanks, Lynn. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
What's up, Chris? How you doing? Good morning.
You obviously have, you said you got your work cut out for you and you obviously want to finish this season strong, but have you started to think about what your approach is going to be, with the portal and different things, trying to figure out what a Michael Vick football player looks like and what a Norfolk State football player looks like when you, hit the recruiting trail this winter?
Yeah, absolutely. Just being in the situation that I'm in now and going through the season, but obviously looking at the future, I kind of see where I missed out on, certain opportunities last year. It was kind of late to the party, but really no excuse in terms of that. Looking at the future, I just see all the positives and so thankful that I had this healthy opportunity to go out this year with my team, with my coaches, and battle each and every week. Obviously a lot of tough losses, but learned a lot, along the way. So gearing up for next year, super excited, man. I understand in any sport in life, in general, it's about consistency, and that's what I'm searching for now: the consistency, how to create an atmosphere and build a team, with structure and discipline, and that's going to go out and play each and every week and give 110% effort and don't leave any stones unturned. So I'm excited about it. Like I said, I don't want to talk about 2026 in terms of, because out of respect to the MEAC and, the teams is about to face off this week in Delaware State and South Carolina State, and just want to continue to rep the MEAC conference the best that I can, man. And, just thankful to be, sitting here talking to you, man. And it's been, even though it hasn't been the prettiest, man, it's still been one hell of a season, and I'm my own right.
Thank you for your time as always this year. It's been a pleasure and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right. The next question for you, Coach, comes from Dr. J. Kenyatta Cavill. Doc.
Thank you. This is Kenyatta, Dr. Cavill's inside HBCU Sports Lab. How you doing this morning, Coach Vick?
How you doing, Kenyatta?
Doing well. Lynn opening up, and I was looking at this all season following these games, just the challenges with closing out games and how close some of those losses have been, including last week's game, about getting up or not being able to hold on to leads. With that perspective, as Chris alluded to, my colleague there, also about moving forward, and respectfully, you talked about focusing on the now. But as you do that, can you talk a little bit about what you see your team is in terms of being able to be in games, but not just closing them out, and how you're going to seek to change that this weekend about finding a way, putting everything together to try to get a win before you go into the offseason?
Yeah, in terms of this weekend, man, it's about putting it all together. And I've been saying this to our team for the last 3 weeks. I think after the Delaware State game, I mean, it's one play here and one play there that determines, everything. And people can point to all of the issues that and things that's been happening. I think it's irrelevant. Yeah, we create, turn penalties for ourselves. We put ourselves in, disadvantageous situations at times. In football, it's about maturity. It's about, learning as you go, doing things the right way, playing with the right technique, trusting yourself, trusting what you've been taught. And so the challenge is going to be pushing everybody to the next level, including myself, to do more, to be a part of more. I was very observant this year in terms of what was unfolding before my very eyes, but looked at the whole landscape of our team and just seeing areas where, it's just got to be improvement. And so, coaches, we got to hold ourselves accountable and we got to come back strong. That's all that needs to be said.
Certainly appreciate the clarity and the insight. Good luck this weekend. Look forward to moving forward.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Doc. Darryl Duvall is up next, Coach.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
Hey, how you doing? Good morning.
So, hey, I just want to kind of parlay. First of all, you did a good job this year, man. Inspiration to what the players are. Inspiration of, kids just don't know who they got as a coach. And, going back to having an opportunity to talk to, Shador, reaching out to you about what happened, just having the opportunity. So, you go back to, you parlay to, what is your message to your players and building upon that for the next season? And now, you talked about it with James Hill and Dr. Kenyatta about, you know, you're trying to keep away from next season, but still, you know, right now you're building upon that because this is your first year. So what is your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts, man, and yeah, just elaborating on next year. Definitely not afraid to do it, because this is reality and it's what's happening in real time. As far as my mindset, I got to get ahead. You know, our mindset coming into next year is, you know, doing things the right way, creating a certain discipline and culture that we've created over the last couple of weeks. You know, obviously, you know, we're losing 30 seniors, so it's going to be an influx of players that's probably going to come in. But coming in with the right attitude, right mindset, that's how I plan to recruit and bring guys in. And, you know, it's a lot of interest right now. The potential is there. I think, you know, we created enough situations to, you know, demand, you know, some of the, you know, some good players that may want to come in and join us. But, you know, it's not just about having good players. It's about, you know, teaching them, you know, and developing them and making sure that they understand our game plan, is comfortable with everything that we're looking to do, and on board with everything off and on the field. And so, you know, I won't say on and off the field. I'm gonna start off the field from an academic standpoint to on the field, because it all correlates, it all translates. And so I'm gonna be very transparent, you know, in 2026, and you know, we'll play a different brand of football for sure.
Well, hey, Coach, good luck. Coach Vick, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And good luck all season. I'll be hopefully trying to reach out to you, talk to you more about your off-season aspirations.
Sir, anytime.
Thank you, Daryl. On to you now, Dwayne Nash.
Thanks, Lynn. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Good morning, Dwayne.
I'm doing all right. I know this year has not gone the way that you would like, but you've been extremely competitive throughout the entire season. My question to you is, what is your biggest takeaway after your first year as the head coach ever?
Yeah, I'm very thankful. And I think you said it, man. We've been very competitive. I could think back into the first game of the season versus Townsend, where you know, I was just, you know, kind of nervous, but nervous for the players and nervous in terms of, you know, what, you know, off season, you know, strength and conditioning, you know, game plan that we put together, if anything was going to work. If we would be a team that just wasn't competitive and couldn't score points or couldn't stop anybody. And I seen that, you know, guys bought in. I seen that we was very competitive. You know, along the way, you know, we had opportunities to win each and every game. I think we was up in every game winning, all but except maybe 3 or 4. So we was always in contention. And, you know, we just created a lot of penalties. I think we probably lead the MEAC in penalties. And, you know, that's just going to come with, you know, guys, you know, trusting it and playing with better technique and, you know, not making any excuses along the way and just going out and dominating, because when you dominate, there is no need to throw a flag. And so I think, you know, probably had maybe 30 or 40 personal fouls, you know, that happened this year. I mean, that's just a lot of yardage we gave away in terms of the yardage that was gained. So, you know, I can look at a lot of positives and see where we're headed, but I can also look at the negatives and see why we sit where we sit. So just being real about everything and, you know, soaking it all in, taking it all with a grain of salt. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but, you know, in about, you know, 2 weeks, you know, things are start to, you know, lighten up for me and get into recruiting and get excited about, you know, continuing to build, you know, this program. So it's a lot to be excited about, and can't wait till next year.
All right, Coach. I don't know if I need to wish you good luck in a city where you've only lost once as a professional, but good luck this weekend, Coach.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Coach, your final question comes from Ty Miller. Ty.
Coach Vick, good morning to you. How you doing, man?
Hey, good morning, Ty. How you doing?
I'm fine. In a word, without using disappointment, can you describe your first season as head coach at Norfolk State?
Hold on, say that again. Don't use that word.
Don't use the word disappointment, but in a word, describe one word to describe your first season at Norfolk State as head coach and why.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I probably would have used that word, because I'm a realist, and when it comes to football, And when I look back on things, it maybe was some things that I would have done better, but some decisions may jeopardize, everything. And so, I've been, able to hang in there each and every week emotionally. And I tell my team all the time, football is very emotional, and it takes me a while, even with a win to get over it. It may take a day or two. It's not till you get back to practice that things get back to normal. So, obviously, upset that things didn't go the way we wanted it to go. We had high expectations coming into the season. It was about halfway through that I seen our ceiling. I felt like, we could compete, but, created so many variables and, situations that didn't allow us to beat teams. And, the penalties was very, you say don't use the word disappointing, but that was disappointing how that unfolded throughout the year on our part, on our behalf. And so moving forward, we just got so many things to teach on, so many things that we got to self-correct. And hopefully, with the influx of players that we have to bring in as they come in, we can set the standard. And so now it's like get to play the general manager role, build the team, construct it. And sad to be losing the players that we had. And I just wanted to send them out with a bang. But just wish this season could have been a lot better.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ty. And Coach, thank you for spending your Monday morning with us throughout the course of the year and for being so transparent and letting us know exactly what was going on as you build the culture of the Spartan program, and you're building it now for the ground up. We wish you nothing but the best of luck as you travel to DC to try to end the season with a victory and then catapult yourselves and the Spartans into the offseason as you rebuild the program. So thank you so much and best of luck this coming weekend in Washington, DC. For those of you on the call, thank you so much, Coach. For those of you on the call, it's going to be Norfolk State at Howard, Saturday, the 22nd at Audi Field, 3:30 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus. Let's go on down to Orangeburg, South Carolina, to spend a few moments with the South Carolina State head Bulldog, Coach Chennis Berry. I see you right there, Coach Berry. Congratulations to you on the victory and some great television for your school, your team, and the MEAC this past Friday night.
Thank you, Lamb. We really appreciate it, man.
Man, what a game it was. I mean, it had all the great elements, and a TD in the final minutes break the 27-all tie, and the Dogs are now 4-0 in the MEAC and ready for championship Saturday in Dover. Tell us about it from your point of view.
Well, first and foremost, man, to God be the glory, man. Found a way to win a football game, man. We played against a really good football team. North Carolina Central, Coach Trei, my guy. Been knowing him for a long time, worked with him, man. He had his team ready to go. But our young men, they came with it on their mind. We knew we were going to have to play our best game, go up there to hostile territory, Durham, North Carolina, to come away with victory. And I thought, all three phases, we played really well. I thought our guys did a great job in the offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game. And we were grateful to receive the fruits of our labor, but we knew we were going to work for it. And we had to work all the way to the fourth quarter when under 2 minutes to go to find a way to come away with victory. So proud of our young men, proud of our coaches, man. We really put a lot of time in to get this thing done, man. So we're grateful to be where we are now. Now we got to go up to Dover, Delaware, man, to play against a really good football team that's playing at a high level right now. And I got to make sure that the Bulldogs ready to go and trust and believe. When we get in that road, headed to Dover, Delaware, we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Coach, if someone were to ask you and the Bulldogs how to get to Atlanta in the Celebration Bowl, you got to tell them, I guess now, you got to go north to Dover, Delaware on a Saturday afternoon, then head, hopefully, back south to Orangeburg and then Atlanta. So if that's the case, tell us how you're going to get it done.
One of those mindset, man. Nothing changed for us. Business as usual for us, man. We understand, we respect every opponent, but we fear none. And our young men will be ready to go, man. They know what's at stake. To see our practice yesterday, guys were locked in, man. They were chopping at the bit. They know what's at stake, and they're a focused team. We're all about discipline. Everything we do, we talk about discipline, man. Just be a disciplined, physical football team. Fall in love with the process. The process doesn't change for us. I've been saying the same thing since the first game of the season, man. We don't get too high, we don't get too low. We understand what's at stake. Our young men understand what's at stake. and they'll be ready to go, man. So all in all, we got to go accomplish the mission, man. The mission is to go up to Dover, Delaware, man, and play against a really good football team. Coach Jackson has his guys rocking and rolling, believing, and we're going to have to go there with winning on our mind, and they're not going to give it to us. We got to go take it. So our mindset will be in the right place when we travel up to Dover, Delaware.
Of all the conferences in America, very seldom does it boil down to the last game of the season where the two undefeated teams battle it out on the field. So let's have some questions now from the media to talk about that. And the first one comes from Ty Miller. Coach, here's Ty. Are you there, Ty?
Yes, I am, Coach.
Okay.
Sorry about that delay. Coach, in terms of the game this weekend at Delaware State, what will be different about this chance for a championship as opposed to last season when you were on the same wavelength of winning the championship for the conference?
Doesn't change for us, man. Like I keep saying, we don't get too high, too low, man. We know what we got to do. Last year we had to go into Morgan. We had to go to Baltimore, Maryland, and find a way to go 1-0. We had to go to a hostile territory, which we had to do. So it'll be the same here. Our guys will be locked in, man. We know the game of football, we're going to get 60 minutes. There's no do-overs. So that'll be the message all week in practice. There's no such thing as do-over. We don't get a chance to play them Saturday, then play them back again on Sunday. We have one opportunity at that. We're going to get 60 minutes, and our guys will be ready, man. We got to try to, play against a really good team by, winning all three phases, man. That's what we always talk about. The process, fall in love with the process, offense, defense, defensively, special teams. And right now we're playing some really good football. For me, man, early in the year, we played against some really tough teams, man. We played against South Carolina Gamecocks, man. We played against University of South Florida. So I knew we had to be battle tested. We know there's going to be times in the game that we're going to have to weather the storm. It's football. It's inevitable. There's ebb and flow in the game of football. So, all in all for us, man, our process doesn't change, man, and we'll practice the right way. We truly believe that the separation is in the preparation. So we'll be prepared this week to be ready to go play against a really good football team. I respect every opponent we play, and the way that Dell State's playing right now, man, they're playing at a high level. So they're believing, they're playing fast, they're playing physical, and we're going to have to go up there with the same mindset.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Ty. Dr. Kenyatta Cavill is up next, Coach.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Appreciate you giving me a moment for the game. How you doing this morning?
Hey, man, good to see you, man. It was great seeing you on the field pregame, man. So always a pleasure.
Man, that's big time game, big time atmosphere. I got to find a way to get there. So I appreciate that opportunity to see the game. As we push forward, I know it's one game at a time, focus the way you do that. But if you would, from a media perspective, would you go back for one moment and talk about the framework and the mindset going in there, particularly as a coach, and kind of take us behind the scene a little bit? How much is in the moment and how much is in the preparation? Can you provide us a little bit about that, particular going for the onside kick? Obviously there had to be something that you saw on the film that you said, this is the moment, this is the time, let's do it. And the decision to go for it on fourth down at the goal line. Talk a little about behind the scenes and take us from your perspective, Coach Berry, all the way that you've been coaching, head coaching at Benedict, now at South Carolina State, assistant coaches over the year. How do you put those pieces together and say, this is the moment, this is the time that we're going to make these kind of decisions that ultimately push you forward to get a victory in such a tough game, championship level atmosphere, and how that moves forward with the championship game, everything on the line, de facto MEAC football championship game this weekend?
Well, for one, that's a great question, man. And I truly believe that's why I always say the separation is in the preparation. I have a really, really good coaching staff, man. A lot of these guys have been with me for years. They've been with me since the Benedict days. So they kind of know, our process and how we do things. So we know that it's inevitable that the game of football comes down to situations. Situations is going to happen. And we practice situations probably more than anybody in the country. I mean, we give scenarios every day. Our guys start practice every day with a situation, and they never know what it is. It's something that I only know. I come with the situation, and I throw it at those guys how we start practice. So it's so many different situations, offensively, defensively, and special teams that we do. Now, in terms of playing against a team like, North Carolina Central, man, well-coached team, man, you had to find a way to get over the hump. us being able to steal 2 possessions, when you really look at it, we stole 2 possessions, and those 2 possessions really helped us. With us, after we got our first touchdown, we saw some things on film, obviously, and that's why we exploited it. That's what we do. That's why I trust my coaching staff. And we had an opportunity. We had a surprise onside kick. We was able to steal that possession. And in the very next play, we scored a big time touchdown, So, and then we stole a possession after the half. So because we had the ball first, they deferred. We had the ball first. We had to kick off to them in the second half. And we were able to create a turnover, man. So we got the ball back. And we were able to get 3 points and tie the game right there. So, like I say, just think about that. There's so many ebb and flow in the game of football. You never know what's going to happen. But if you practice those situations in practice, when you get in the game, you put your guys in an advantageous situation to be able to succeed. Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. We as coaches, we put them in position to be successful, but the players make plays. So, and that's kind of how I think as a coach, man. I don't think about plays. I think about players. You got to get the players, the playmakers, the ball in situations, and we put the ball in our playmakers' hands, and our defensive guys have been flying around. My defense coordinator, he does an outstanding job of preparing. My special team coordinator, Coach King, does a great job in preparation, and then my offensive coordinator, Coach Jonathan Williams, does a good job offensively. So all in all, I feel like I got a good staff, good young men, and I got some players that's believing in the process. I'm just trying to go 1-0 every day.
Thank you, Coach Barry. I'd like to say, talk heavy. That's what you just provided. Look forward to this matchup. Should be a great one. Good luck this weekend. Take care.
Should be fun. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Doc. Chris Stevens is up next, Coach. Chris.
Hey, thanks, Lynn. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning, Chris. Man, you doing all right today?
Yeah, I'm good. I know you as coaches really don't get caught up in the statistical things, but I had to run these numbers by you real quick. Going back to Benedict, you've won 28 consecutive conference-related games. You have not lost a conference-related game in any kind since October 23rd, 2021. So the question is, the Colonel, he's got his 11 herbs and spices. Does Chennis Berry have any sort of secret recipe that allows him to be as good as his football teams have been over the last 4 years?
Man, just fortunate, man. Honestly, man, there's no secret sauce, man, to be honest, man. I'm just consistent. The consistency is this is who I am every day. I'm consistent with my staff. I'm very demanding of my staff. I expect their best because we're dealing with impressionable young men. You're talking about we have young men 18 through 23, 24 years old, man. So it's bigger than football. Yeah, we want to win games, man, but we want to win souls, man. We want to make sure that these young men can compete in the game of life. So how do you do that? Football is inevitable. We want to win games, yeah, but we want to make sure that we're doing things the right way. Off the field, on the field, in the classroom, in the weight room, everything we do. It's a holistic development for me. So it hadn't changed. The process that we had at Benedict, we brought that same process over here to South Carolina State, a storied program that's been winning championships for a long time, man. So the biggest thing is the buy-in. You can come up with all kind of secret sauce, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the players. The players got to believe in the process because those are the guys that got to buy in and believe in. And we've done a good job of getting our young men to believe. And we're all about discipline and accountability. And there, for every action, there's a reaction. I think it carries over to the field. And, it's really helped us thus far in my last few years as a head football coach.
And that might be better than the 11 herbs and spices. Coach, it's been a pleasure to talk to you as always this year. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
it. Way to go, Chris. Thank you so much. James Hill, you're on.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Orangeburg are well. How's it going, sir?
We're well. Good to see you, man. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, it's like a boxing match, right? Hagler, Hearns, Lakers, Celtics. However we want to say it, it's going to come down to Saturday and then Atlanta for whoever gets there. But can you just talk a little bit about the Bulldogs' offense, defense, and special teams as you go into Delaware State?
Well, at the end of the day, we're just like, every team in America. You want to get to I've been saying it all year. September, you kind of find out who you are. But with us having pretty much a new team, I remind people that we returned one offensive starter on offense and two defensive starters on defense from last year's team. But I always said it's a new team, new season. But our mission doesn't change, man. So, you want to be playing, find out who you are in September. October, you want to take care of October. You kind of hitting your strides in October. So you can make it in November to remember. And if you make it in November to remember, you'll be playing in December. you know, so nothing really changes kind of how we look at things. And right now we're playing some good football, you know, in all three phases. You know, it took us a little while at the beginning because we were finding out who we were. But right now, I think we're playing confident football. Guys really believe. My coaches have been putting some outstanding work in and putting the preparation together and plans for us. But again, still come down to the players. And the players have really taken ownership, man. It starts with the leadership, man. You know, I have a leadership council that I've come up with, a representation from every position. I meet with those guys every Monday at 4:30, and we just talk about. I'm very, very you know, we talk about everything. We don't leave any stone unturned about the program, from how we travel to what we eat to you know what they gonna wear on game day. You know, very, very good meeting that we have, and they really have bought in. Really, we're coach led, but player driven, man. The players drive the ship, man, and they've done a good job of buying into it. We have good leaders, really good leaders, man, that really love this program and they want to do it the right way. So all in all, you know, I think we're playing good ball at the right time. And, you know, we have a tough challenge. I keep reminding people, man, we got a tough challenge this week, man. You got to go all the way up to Dover, Delaware, you know, and go up to hostile territory. But one thing I can promise you, Bulldog Nation will be there in full effect, man. I looked up this past week, man. We were at North Carolina Central in Durham, man. When I looked up, man, it was so many Bulldogs in attendance, and you know that's great to be in a place like this, man. When we go up to Dover, I promise you the Bulldogs will be there in full effect. I'll look up and see garnet and blue everywhere. So I'm grateful to have the support that we have from our administration, our fans, our alumni. So I'm just grateful to be in a place that loves to win and do football the right way.
All right, Coach. Have a blessed week, and we look forward to this matchup. It could be the game of the year for the MEAC. We look forward to it. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good day.
Thanks, James. Brandon King, good morning. You're up.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Mr. King, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Brandon King with Dr. Who inside the HBCU Sports Lab and SneakerShopTalk.com. I wanted to ask you, obviously your old stomping grounds, including your previous stop, sent 3 teams to the Division II playoffs. We had another 2 in the CIAA. And then when you look at the game that you're involved in, where you got the 2 undefeated teams in the conference getting it down for a crown on Saturday. In looking at all that, what does that say about the level of football that's being played at the HBCU level, not only at Division II, but at a Division I level? And how does it feel to be a part of that?
Man, I say it all the time. Anybody that knows me, man, I've been HBCU since I've been 18 years old, man. So I have nothing but love for HBCUs, man. And anytime you can get a chance to see HBCUs play good ball on the national level, because really at the end of the day, it's football. I tell guys all the time, whether you're at a HBCU, a P4, a group of 5, curl flat is curl flat, right? Inside zone is inside zone, cover 2 is cover 2. It's football. So you can get an opportunity to see those guys put their abilities on the national stage, man. I love to see it, man. I'm grateful to see, like you say, 3 teams in the SIAC, which I actually played in at Savannah State, and I actually coached in the SIAC, but also see 2 teams out the CIAA, man. You talking about Johnson C. Smith, man. It's been 69 years since they won a championship, man. That's amazing for Coach Flowers and his staff to see what Doc Parker's doing up at Virginia Union, man. That's always great. These are guys I know well. Quinn Gray, man. I know all these guys. He's an HBCU guy from playing at FAMU, playing in the NFL a little bit, man. Now he's doing some good things at Albany State. You know, all the things that these guys are doing really, really is special. So proud of these young men, these coaches, man, because it's hard getting these opportunities, man. I talk about it all the time. It took me 26 years to become a head coach. I was assistant for 26 seasons, man, at several different HBCUs in the SWAC, in the MEAC, and in the SIAC. Never coached in the CIAA, so it's always great to see the HBCUs excel, man. Now, you just got to get on that next stage and get some victories, man, and keep chopping wood, carrying water, fall in love with the process.
Well, thank you, Coach, for that insight, and it's been an absolute pleasure covering you this season, and good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it, man. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, Coach Darryl Duvall is up next. Darryl.
Good morning, Coach. This is Daryl Duvall from Power News Sports. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Daryl. You doing all right, man?
Yes, I am. Coach, I just want to say, you know, this past weekend was a pretty good game, man. And
And what is your biggest takeaway on how your team battled against North Carolina Central?
Well, my biggest take is, man, we had to go get that one because, you're talking about an explosive team, man. For our defense to hold that team to 300 yards offense, 80 yards rushing. If you look at North Carolina Central's offense all year, man, they're pretty explosive. And we knew we were going to have to play our best game. And I'm very, very proud of how we played defensively. And then offensively, our guys were on fire, man. We did some really good things in terms of passing the ball, running the ball, up front with the big boys up front, and then special teams, man. I always talk about, are you going to be the fountain or the drain? And our guys on special teams were the fountain. They were pouring into to our program, man. And when you look at our DB, man, if you look at Jared Washington, man, he had to cover Chauncey Spikes, man. Listen, that guy is special. Number 0 for North Carolina Central, and for them to hold him to basically 0 catches. I think he had 1 catch at the end of the game. That's a hard thing to be able to do. So we have some players that really did a good job, and I thought we put it together at the right time in the last part of the season. But we knew we would have to do that against a really good North Carolina Central football team.
Well, Coach, I'm just gonna say good luck this weekend. I think we all gonna be watching that game.
Appreciate it.
It's gonna be just like y'all playing North Carolina Central.
No, we got to play Dale State, man. That's a good team, man. We done moved on from North Carolina Central. I don't even know what happened to that game. I got to get ready for a good Dale State football team, man. I'm locked in on a really good team we get ready to play.
Well, good luck this weekend, Coach, and look forward to talking to you after this game, man.
Thank you. Have a good.
All right. Dwayne Nash, you're on. Dwayne.
All right, thanks, Lynn. Good morning, Coach, and happy Founders Day.
Hey, man, I appreciate you recognizing that, man. I try to have on a little purple top at least, man. I do have the Omega Psi 5 underneath, but for the media, man, I wanted to make sure that I put on some Bulldog Nation gear, man. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you acknowledging that. So yeah, appreciate it, man. Hey, we've been doing it a long time, man. So I appreciate somebody finally showing me some love, man, on Founders Day, man. So I'm grateful for that. So I appreciate that, man. Absolutely.
Well, Coach, if there's anything about me, hopefully you'll learn that I at least pay attention. So, I remember you saying that last year. So, of course, I remember. So, happy Founders Day, Coach.
I appreciate
it. Coach, you make it seem so easy that football is football. And this is your second year here in the MEAC, and you're already competing for your second title. Did you have any idea that your consistency and your ability to have players buy in would work this well, this quickly on an FCS level?
Man, listen, I'm just blessed, man. I got good people, man. Come down to the people, right? It's a people business. I'm a people guy. I'm in the community with the people. I got a turkey giveaway I'm giving next Monday, man. We're going to give away 150 turkeys, man. So I'm excited about that. It's for the families in need for Thanksgiving, man. I'm a people guy, man. So I built relationships on this campus, in this community. My players, they want to play hard for me, man, because they know I love them, man. I got coaches that want to grind each and every day, man. I've just been blessed, man. The formula doesn't change, right? It's going to come down at the end of the day. You better have some discipline. All right, you better have outstanding effort and execution. And then last but not least, you better fight and you better finish, and that's what it comes down to. I'm just grateful, blessed, man. I get a chance to get up every day, man. I've been doing this now for my 32nd season coaching college football, HBCU football. Let me make sure you put that in there. But again, man, I've been to work every day, man, and I don't even feel like I go to work, man. I get a chance to impact the lives of young people, man, especially young people that look just like me, man. So that's a reward in itself, man. So I'm just grateful, man, and it works for me, man. So I'm gonna keep on trusting God, man, and putting Him first in all I do, man. And it won't change, man. I gotta have good people, man, because that's really what it comes down to, man. You gotta have good people, because again, coaches, we coach, but players make plays, and grateful enough to have some pretty good players along the way.
Well, I wish you and your good people good luck this week, because you guys are gonna have a tough one up in Dover.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, man. Have a good one.
No problem.
All right, Coach, your final question comes from Kevin Tressolini. Kevin.
Hey, Coach, Kevin Tressolini from DelawareOnline.com and the News Journal. Just wanted to ask you, you guys beat Delaware State pretty handily last year. As you and your staff have begun to kind of look them over, what impresses you most about their improvement? What are they doing well that will particularly challenge you guys on Saturday?
No, man, it's a new team, man. Just like my team was last year. I mean, it's a new team, man. And Coach Jackson got those guys believing first and foremost. I mean, they're playing with confidence, man. They do some really good things on all three phases, offensively, defense, special teams. I mean, they've been not only they can run the ball, they can pass the ball as well. They do some good things on the defensive side of the ball, and then special teams they've really done a good job of winning the field position battles, and they're very aggressive, man. But all in all, man, we got to play our game, man. It's not really about the opponent. We respect every opponent that we play, and we're going to watch them. We're going to study them, and just like they're going to watch us and study us. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to those 60 minutes, man. And playing disciplined football, putting our young men in position to go be successful. And then the players got to make the plays, man. So all in all, we know we're going to face a really good football team. We really do. I mean, we watch it on film. Everybody's seen it all year. Coach Jackson has those guys believing, man. That's half the battle. I talked about buy-in. Half the battle is getting young men to believe, man. You're talking about some impressionable age young men, man, 18 through 24. Man, they listen to everything we say, how we dress, how we speak, how we interact, our energy. They watch it. You know what I'm saying? So it's important. Obviously, you can see that he has an impact on those guys, on how those guys are moving around, playing with confidence and believing. So, we'll have our hands full, man, as we go up to Dover, Delaware to try to accomplish the mission. Our mission doesn't change. Try to go 1-0.
Nice, Coach. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate you, man.
Coach, thank you so much for being with us every Monday, Coach, throughout the season. And now we look ahead to this Saturday where everybody's going to be watching you as you and the Bulldogs will tee it up against Delaware State, Coach. So thank you so much. We're going to let you get back to your game planning, okay?
Excuse me, Coach Lane, real quick, Coach Barry. I was trying to stay out of this. I don't want no problems. I wanted to be on record. I wished him a happy Founders Day.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
While I got it, I'm going to go on and say it to Coach Wilson. I don't know all this going around. Happy Founders Day.
I appreciate you, Doug.
So I officially said it. So I want no problem.
No problem. We understand.
Hey, Chennis, happy Father's Day, Q.
We understand that. We understand that well. So now for all of you on the call, it's going to be Saturday, South Carolina State at Delaware State. Going to be for the crown, for the MEAC crown. 1 p.m. kickoff on ESPN Plus, Alumni Stadium in Dover, Delaware. And now we're going to talk to Damon Wilson. Good morning to you, Coach Wilson, head football coach of the Morgan State Bears.
Good morning, Len. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Coach, doing good. Now on the road this past Saturday, man, the Bears withstood a Spartan rushing attack of over 290 yards. And then you had to score 13 points in the fourth quarter to slow down the Spartans and win it 35-28. Take us through it.
Yeah, we gave up too many explosives. And you look at last week, we did a really good job against Dale State against the run, but we didn't bring that same type of energy to start the game in the first half. I think after halftime, defensively, we settled down and was able to limit those guys in the second half. But Coach Vick and the staff have done a great job. Those guys, as mentioned earlier, have been in every game. There's a lot of talent on that team with 30-something odd seniors, and those guys play hard. And our guys had found a way to win one of the close games. We've been in several close games throughout the year and found a way to win at the end, which was great to see.
Coach, now this Saturday, Central comes to Baltimore, and the Bears get a chance to finish the year with a lot of momentum, especially with a young quarterback who seems to be hitting his stride, Coach. What is it going to take to get this much-needed win for the Bears?
It's going to take everybody. All of us going to have to be doing our jobs. Guys up front, Central poses a lot of problems up front defensively as well as offensively. But we come to play, we'll be ready to rock and roll. Ray Moore, as you mentioned, Ray came into the season the fourth guy on the depth chart. And due to injuries, he had to get thrown in the fire, and he's gotten better each week, which has really been good to see. He's a guy that's been putting in a lot of work, and Coach Reed has done a great job with the overall development.
Coach, let's tell you what, I know the media has some questions about him and about this big game against Central. So we're going to go to him now, and we're going to go to Dr. Kenyatta Cavill first. Doc.
Dr. Cavill, Kenyatta Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach Damon, first, I'd like some purple and gold, but it's a little too much in the back. I thought I'd find a way to bring a smile to your face. I imagine getting a tough win will do that, and you deserve the work that you did there. But talk about this next matchup. What are the things you want to continue to get done from your football program that you did with success, things that you need to prove on to find a way to get a win this weekend to close out the season?
Well, it starts with us stopping the run. Central has a few running backs that can cause problems, and also has some very explosive receivers, as you guys saw on Friday and saw throughout the year. So, defensively, we must play sound defense. Offensively, I think we did a better job on third down efficiency this past week, trying not to get behind the sticks. I think that was really important. And special teams, our special team games was really good this week. We had a couple block kicks and one kickoff return to put us in scoring position. Which was great, to see these guys competing week in and week out. And it's a very, very good football team coming up this week. We got to do the same thing to get ourselves a chance to be successful.
Thank you, Coach. Look forward to the matchup. Good luck this week.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Doc.
Chris Stevens, you're on. Chris.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
I'm good, Chris. How about yourself?
Pretty good. You have a mix of young players and veterans on this team. Obviously, for the seniors, getting one win, in that environment is huge for them. Knowing that they only have so many opportunities left to play football. But for these young guys that are probably going to be coming back for you next year, just how big is it for them to see that if they stick to the game plan, if they play hard, that the results will come, especially in a hostile environment like you did at Dick Price Stadium last weekend?
I mean, it's really good. It's all about reference points, man. When you're able to create reference points through playing experiences, it carries over. It's good. You could talk about a lot of situations and things that may happen, but until those guys are out there in the fire and playing, that's what really helps build that championship pedigree. That's what helped build confidence. Of course, all of these guys were good high school football players, but now you're trying to convince them, or they're trying to confirm that they have the ability to play college ball at a high level. And we've played a lot of freshmen this year at really key positions, and which is, I think, will be good. I think it'll be good. These guys are doing a great job in the classroom and everything else we're asking them to do. And then it's just a matter of continue to push forward on the field so they can see get the rewards for their work.
Thanks for your time as always this year, Coach. It has been a pleasure, and best of luck this weekend.
I appreciate you, Greg.
Thanks, Chris. James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everyone in Baltimore are well today. Happy Founders Day. How's it going?
I appreciate you, James. Yes, everyone's well. I appreciate you.
My man. Talk a little bit about your seniors. These gentlemen will have an opportunity to earn an education. In some cases, they will graduate in the next month, and they have an opportunity to play one last football game. And in some cases, some gentlemen will go on and maybe play at the graduate level. But given those scenarios, just talk a little bit about working with these gentlemen and what a blessing it has been to work with them and mold them to be successful humans in life.
Hey, James, that's a great question. This has been great, man. You know what? When we came in and took over the program, I didn't run any guys away that was already in the program. It wasn't their fault. The coach left or whatever it may have happened. And those guys, they were here. They came to Morgan to get an education. They came to Morgan to play football. So some of these guys, a lot of these guys are guys that were here when I arrived. These guys, brought into the program. These guys gave us an opportunity to help their overall development. Out of this group of seniors, I want to say 7 are already in graduate school. The others are graduating this semester. I know we have one that we're going to miss a great deal, and that's Eric Hunter. And I think he's the next guy to leave this conference and play on Sundays. He's walking out of here with a degree. So I'm really, really excited about him and what he's done. And along with the other seniors, guy Trei Branch, I mean, he's finishing his master's degree. He's a guy that's been here for 5 years and is finishing his master's. So, it's great to see these guys walk out of here, and we want to with their degrees and being productive citizens, but we want to make sure they leave here with a W as well. And that's something that we talked about on a Sunday meeting, and something we talked about actually Saturday after the game. And they understand, what's at stake. North Carolina Central's had our number last few years, and we're looking for a good game on Saturday.
All right, Coach. Have a great week and good luck versus Central.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Dwayne Nash, you're on.
All right, thanks, Lynn. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Dwayne. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Well, I mean, except for yesterday morning. We're not going to talk about that game yesterday morning, but as
tough.
you can see, yeah, I know, right? And as you can tell, Doc out here getting me in trouble. I was also going to wish you a happy Founders Day. I knew that before I saw the backdrop, but Doc want to go ahead and start snitching and letting everybody know so they can get it out there before I could. But that's okay. That's all right though.
I appreciate it. I had to change the backdrop to make sure you guys aware, because I know Doc had made some mistakes before, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Not a problem. Not a problem. But Coach, I know this year's been rather tumultuous for you this year. I don't know if this is the first time you've ever had to deal with the season with this much injuries and the like. But if so, what did you learn from this year that you can go ahead and carry on for the rest of your career in terms of dealing with what you dealt with off the field primarily?
This is definitely has been a challenging season dealing with injuries, but injuries are part of the game. We're going to take a look at everything with regard to the injury bug we've had a little bit. The biggest thing is just is patience. Also understanding the importance of confirming, I should say, of development. You can't go into this deal with one guy and thinking you're going to be ready to roll for 12 weeks. Definitely the schedule we play, you have to get that third and fourth guy developed and ready to rock and roll at every position. And, that's something that's extremely important. And that's something that we stress with the coaching staff as well, because we're not recruiting a lot of transfers. We still kind of believe in developing a high school guy. And that's something that, it's a good thing and a bad thing. But I like guys that have the ability to be at a program 4 to 5 years, leave here with the love for the university, leave here with a degree. I think it's something to that. But also, we understand the importance of the new recruiting landscape. So we got to blend in a good number of transfers that fit our culture and what we're trying to get done. But at the end of the day, I think this year has taught me to deal with patience and persevere through a number of different challenging situations.
God, Coach, it just hit me that both you and this team here in DC have been dealing with a lot of injuries. Good luck this week against Central.
It might be something in the water, man. I appreciate it.
Well, we need to get some new water in here. God, I swear. Good luck this week, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks for that. Coach, your final question comes from Ty Miller.
Hey, Coach, good morning.
Good morning, Ty. How you doing?
I'm good, Coach.
Great.
Besides all the injuries, can you talk about what kind of measuring stick game this is this weekend against North Carolina Central and how it can set the framework for your season for 2026?
Well, as you know, 2026 roster is going to be a lot different for both teams. But at the end of the day, if you're able to get into off-season recruiting with the win, it's great. It's great to build upon. North Carolina Central is a championship caliber team. This North Carolina Central and South Carolina State, those two programs have really been running the conference for years. Howard had an opportunity to win a championship a few years ago. But Coach Trei Oliver, man, he has a great foundation laid, been there several years and had a lot of success. And as a guy I respect tremendously. So it's major for us to not just put on a good showing on Saturday, but just come up with a win. Now you're beating a championship caliber team at home. You're doing it, for the seniors, and it helps going out in the recruiting, talking about a win against North Carolina Central.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. You got it, Ty.
Thanks for that, Ty, and thanks all of you for those questions for Coach. Coach, it's been a great season, and we thank you so much for coming here with us every Monday and answering those questions, being transparent and giving it to us straight with no chaser from your perch at the top of the program. For all of you, it's going to be Morgan State hosting North Carolina Central this coming Saturday. Hughes Stadium on the campus of Morgan State, 12 p.m. kickoff on ESPN+. Well, folks, I'll tell you what, the race to the top of the MEAC Mountain and a trip to the Celebration Bowl all comes down to one place and one day. This coming Saturday afternoon in Dover, Delaware. 2 undefeated MEAC teams, one field, no more speculation, just a head-to-head showdown to decide the true champion. And how about the irony? After a 5-week chase for the crown, it all gets settled in a NASCAR town across the street from Dover Downs, y'all, where the engines usually do the roaring. But this Saturday, it'll be the fans bringing the noise as the Bulldogs and the Hornets battle in Alumni Stadium for the right to call themselves the best in the MEAC. By the time this weekend wraps up, we'll know who's exactly pulling into victory lane and who's waving the checkered flag in the race for the MEAC crown. That does it for week number 12 and our season of the MEAC Weekly Football Media Conference, represented and hosted by the great partners at WellsFargo. But before we end our conference, we'd like to thank all of you who participated and all of those who helped us to produce today's video conference. The MEAC would also like to thank its corporate partners for their continued support of the conference and its elite 8-member institutions. And as a reminder, we want to thank all of you for your great storytelling and keeping alive and vibrant the brand of the MEAC and its elite great 8-member institutions. So remember this, for more information on MEAC football and all its sponsored sports, visit MEACsports.com. Follow the MEAC on social media at MEAC Sports on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Thanks so much. We'll see you in Atlanta at the Celebration Bowl. Have a great week. Peace.